I see we're in position. Good luck!
Welcome everyone to our first episode in a series we're really excited about here on YouTube, known as the Backlog Beatdown. In this first episode, we're going to cover The Outer Worlds. The developer that we all know and love, Obsidian Entertainment, has been known for a ton of incredible RPGs over the years with games like Fallout New Vegas, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Those are the two big ones that really come to mind for a lot of people. And one thing will always be certain from them, that games will be immersive, well-written, and above all else, just really enjoyable and a lot of fun. The Outer Worlds set out to be somewhat closer to Fallout New Vegas. You see a lot of Western themes and tropes that are just really apparent right from the get-go, and definitely reminds us of our time spent in the Mojave of New Vegas. While much of the character progression and world building seems more inspired by Knights of the Old Republic, the blend just provides a very unique experience with plenty of reasons to return for additional playthroughs. Fans have loved it so much that Obsidian has even decided to craft a sequel in The Outer Worlds 2, and we'll touch on that a little bit later on in this video. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into it. When you first begin The Outer Worlds, you'll create your nameless character, which is woken up after a 70-year hibernation aboard a lost colony ship known as the Hope. This is kind of where the story is centered around you trying to revive your fellow colonists. You get to create and customize the look of your hero, including a few basic attributes to start, which probably sounds a bit familiar. There's nothing new, considering Obsidian titles and even Bethesda to a certain extent, but the way the point allocations work throughout the game's progression system is very nice, and even extends to your party members to a lower extent, which is something you don't often see other games do, at least not very well. Later in the game, you even gain the ability to completely change your attributes all over again, and can pretty much do this at will if you can afford it with the game's currency within the universe. Now, after creating your hero, you're then launched into your first planet, known as Terra 2, and discover you are very well the reason that your informant has been killed. And it's in the most Obsidian way possible, by landing on him with your escape pod. So you automatically, right from the outset, see the humor that Obsidian is aiming for at various parts of this game. You can certainly be treated to some seriousness, however, there's a lot of quirky dialogue, quirky interactions, and that makes the game fun, it keeps it interesting, and it's not just this dull, dreary, tough to live in universe.
Oh, my dear Law. Sir, I don't mean to be rude, but do you know what's going on with your face?
You can definitely see how tough it is for a lot of colonists on some of the various planets that you're in, whether doing the main storyline, going through a lot of the side quests, and even through companion quests. So each of the game's 6 companions that you can get also have their own quest lines that can really connect you with them more. You can see more of the struggles that they've dealt with, and that was a really nice change of pace, because you normally don't see a lot of games like what Obsidian has done in the past, where you really get to know your companions more outside of just story dialogue. You're actually going on quest lines to help get them more attracted to your cause, and that is something that I wish we would see more in games like this. Now, speaking of the companions, again, you can get up to 6 of them. Now, you don't have to have any companions join your party. You can simply choose not to have them, and you could literally just run this game fully solo if you want to. If you also play through the game once and you unlock the game's Supernova difficulty, if your companions die, they're dead. Like, dead. They won't get up after a battle like you see in the other difficulties or some of the other games. So it presents a unique take on what other games do with other kind of harder modes like survival or hardcore mode. Now, this game has been in my backlog for a long time now. I'd started it at least 2 to 3 times prior to the last few weeks, and something bigger always came up previously. It could have been a new Gears game, it could have been a new Halo, it could have been God of War. I'm sure there were many other games in there, and I'm disappointed that had I stuck with it, And especially being a huge Fallout fan like myself, I would have completed this game ages ago. And much like those RPGs, you've got branching dialogue paths. You can use skills like persuading, lying, intimidating some of the NPCs. And you can even use other skills like hacking or engineering or medical to further whatever cause you're going for. And it just feels so much more fleshed out compared to some of those other games. And even in a certain extent more fleshed out than the more recent Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Granted, Fallout 76 is a much lesser extent. We don't talk about Fallout 76 that often, despite some of the improvements that it's made. Now, combat is a really interesting part of the Outer Worlds. You gain a unique ability right from the outset known as Tactical Time Dilation, or TTD. You can kind of think of this as the Outer Worlds version of the VATS system in Fallout, except in this particular case, time slows down for a few seconds and allows you to, basically in a slower real time, go in, choose where you want to attack your enemy. You can aim for certain body parts. Certain abilities will help give you increases to damage. Once the meter runs out, though, you're back in real time, and if you're in the middle of a huge fight, you have a swarm of enemies, things can get pretty dicey pretty quick. So it's something where you can almost try to be strategic, even in some of the hairier fights. Now, the game can be as short or as long as you want it to be with the technical ability, with certain skills and needs. You could finish the main story in as little as a few hours, but you'd be skipping some entire worlds doing this. If you play through the game as intended, the main story and main companion quests probably see done within about 20 to 30 hours. However, I took my time within the Halcyon system of the Outer Worlds, and between side quests, the main story, even going through one of the DLCs, I spent around 50 hours on my playthrough in non-idle time, and this was well worth it to me. On the subject of DLC as well, there are 2 main DLCs that have come out. I'm not going to touch on them too much, but I will say they are pretty vast and add a wealth of content. Murder on Eridanos, I took about 15 hours to play through all of it. Really enjoyed that one. While Perils on Gorgon, I haven't yet finished at the time of making this video. I can already tell it's going to provide much of the same, and with the extra perks and level cap increase that you do gain, I'd highly recommend the add-ons. They're a ton of fun. Now, overall, fans of Obsidian and even Bethesda, you will absolutely love the Outer Worlds and what it brings to the genre if you haven't played it. It's quirky, it's fun, and above all else, it's pretty memorable. I love how certain decisions impact the game's ending as well, and as soon as I finished the game, I immediately wish I had more to do. I loved the story within the universe. I loved seeing some of the different worlds and characters involved, and I'm thrilled with the series' upcoming sequel, The Outer Worlds 2. I'm just excited that there's going to be a sequel within this world, within this universe, and I would love to see what they do more with some of the different factions, and not sure if it'll continue to expand on your created character from the beginning, or if it'll be just a whole new story and a whole new time period. But I'm sure we'll see more worlds. I'm sure we'll see different action, different perks. So it will certainly be a great time when that comes out. Be sure to check that out if you have not already seen the trailer. It's kind of funny for the short 90 seconds. Otherwise, though, that will do it for our video in this first episode of the Backlog Beatdown. I hope you've enjoyed it. As a sneak peek, we hope you have enjoyed this, and if you've made it all the way here to the end, we did want to give you a little bit of a peek into what our next episode will be and what we're going to be playing in our backlog over the next few weeks. And that's going to stick a little bit to the RPG genre, but we're going to take a little bit more Japanese love from it. I'm very excited to say that our next episode will be coming soon, and it will be our take on Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. I can't believe between the original PS2 release and the remaster that it's taken me this long to finally give this game the old college try. But we'll be diving in deep soon on that, so stay tuned for more. Thank you all so much again for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video.